Alrighty, Josh, YouTube Spurs debate. You just added that in. I like that.
Got to be done.
By the way, how come it's so light where you are? Are you in a different part of the world at the moment?
I've got my Star Wars special light, mate. It's it changes
that's
colours
why.
as well. Like, it's gone red, mate. It's gone red, mate. It's changing every 5 seconds, just like our defence, mate.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so let's start.
Yeah.
Should we start off with that then? I mean, what's going on then with our defence? What do you think the issues are?
Do you know what? We're changing it more than we're changing Jose's underwear at the moment. I mean, he's having to change his defence more than his own underwear. I'll tell you that, because it's pot luck, isn't it? I mean, those defenders must be sitting there thinking, right, am I going to start next week, the week after? And look, don't get me wrong, competition is important, right? And it drives motivation in whatever you do in life. If you've got someone to compete with, they bring the best out of you, and that's what players generally do with each other in sports, right? You bring the best out of you. So you've got your Harry Kanes that compete with themselves and world records and whatnot, but we have got a massive, major issue at the back, and we know that. And if it wasn't an issue, Jose wouldn't be swapping it around. You find your two best centre backs. You sometimes change your wing backs for your left and right backs just to keep their legs refreshed, but you generally go with the same centre backs throughout the season, and that's what we see successful teams do. Stones and Diaz being an example. Obviously, Laporte coming in. So at the moment, it's a right mixed bag of sweets in terms of what we've got at the back, and the mistakes we're now seeing from defensive midfielders. I mean, look, Pierre is, he's been the player of the season, and in the last 2 games, I don't know, is he not sleeping correctly? He's got problems with the misses. What's going on? Because he's just snapping. He's committing too early. You kind of want to let the striker. You want to just soldier him out, and that's what he's been doing, or just keep him out of the danger zone. He's committing. Now, don't get me wrong. With that penalty, Gundogan will never do that again in his life. Even if he tried 1,000 times, you'll never be able to do that with the ball again because it was a mistake. So you have to give Pierre a little bit of benefit of doubt on that, because otherwise he would have read the ball correctly. But then you look at.
He was a bit unlucky, though, don't you think? I think Pierre has been a little bit unlucky with the penalties.
It was unlucky. I mean, look, Everton, he made that mistake. You know what I like about Pierre? He tries. He doesn't shy away from responsibility. He plugs in at the back when there's a gap there. He's the man to go in and put his head on the line. So I respect him for that. But I feel like he's just maybe he's just in terms of committing for that ball. I just felt he could have waited to see what would have happened with that, because you're in the penalty. It was almost a Serge Aurier type of tackle. So
it was Serge-like.
It was Serge-like. Yeah, Serge would have been proud of that. But on the first goal, Tanganga was a bit slow to press his man before that ball came in. And it's just a shame, because it's almost like we played in slow-mo. I mean, watching that live on television, you could see Gundogan. You could just see him leave the position he was in, waiting for that late run. And it was just the basics of football that we got wrong today at the back. And that's the worrying part of it. It's the basics. We weren't done by sort of 25-yarders or, step overs. We were just done by real basic errors. And that's what hurts me is, when you start looking at the errors and they look Sunday League, you start to worry of whether we are actually going to even have a shout for top 4, let alone top 6 at the moment. And that's how worrying it looks. But,
It's one of those things as well that I was thinking this, right? Like, I think Lloris had another poor game today, and I don't think he gets called out enough because he has been our, he's a top keeper and we love him. When he does make mistakes, it's almost like people don't want to say anything about it. That's what I noticed, what I mean? Look, and I think he's been poor for a few games now.
Yeah, Everton, right? And Everton, he makes a great save with his left hand, and then he goes into that. We can't have a Jekyll and Hyde keeper is not what we want. We need a keeper who's going to give us the odd mistake, and every player makes them. I mean, look at Alisson at Liverpool, even today. Great keepers can have a blip. They're human beings, and it's one of those positions which is not comparable to any other position on the pitch. Reflexes can be out of sync. But today with the penalty, Hugo Lloris will be mad at himself for not saving that. He shows the right side. His hand's not strong enough. And then if you sort of go back to the Trent Alexander goal at home, he's pushed that out with his left hand being weak. Today's right hand was weak. And then obviously the second goal, you're expecting him to save that, whether it's with his feet or his hands. And even the third goal, he's kind of flat-footed, And
exactly.
I just wonder, and I'm going to put this out there, and maybe the comments in the video can let us know, the sort of consensus on this is the PSG rumour real? And has his head been turned? because it's no coincidence that since that rumour started doing the rounds and the Dele Alli one dropped off, Lloris might just see his return to Paris, his home. You know, it's a nice move. It's a nice way to end your career. It's glamorous. And I think it would suit him. Personally, I think it'd suit him personally. But we're not worried about Lloris's personal life. We need a great goalkeeper in goal to have a chance of Champions League football. So if his head's turned and this is the start of the end of Lloris, we start looking for his successor. And let's be honest, guys, he hasn't got any competition. I don't know why we got rid of Gazzaniga. Someone can explain that to me, because I thought Gazzaniga could come in and do 10 games a season, Europa League, give Lloris a respite. Joe Hart's not been great, so I don't know why we got rid of Gazzaniga, but I know we had the English quota to fulfill and whatnot. But it is really worrying, guys, when the spine wobbles and the bottom of our spine, the lower back of our spine, Lloris and Pierre Højbjerg today wobbled. And if we can't rely on those two, God bless us at the back.
Yeah, I know, because they're the rocks at the back, aren't they? And unfortunately, if Lloris had actually saved those, which he was more than capable of saving those 3 shots, right, we'd be talking about a really good 0-0 performance, wouldn't we?
Yeah,
that's
look,
the difference. That's the margins. That's the fine margins.
Do you know what? And do you know what, John? In the first half, they had 1 shot on target. I was having my half-time cup of tea, and they had 1 shot on target. And I had to look at that stat twice, because I was like, no, wait. Oh, yeah, maybe they have had 1 shot on target, because I can't remember Lloris getting tested. So we're going in, 1 shot on target. See, I'm not sure many teams have done that at the Etihad. And they showed us respect. It was a cagey affair. Kane's had his chance, and he's at the top of the crossbar. Sonny's could have been in a couple of times had Lamela released the ball quick enough. I thought Tanguy was having an awesome game in that position. They couldn't deal with him. They just could not deal with him. I mean, imagine how he would flourish in a team like City. I mean, you know,
God.
Red carpet.
He's too good for us, isn't he? He's too good for us.
He's fantastic. and I want to call Jose Mourinho out for taking him off. Now, I know he was tired, and the second goal, there was 4 players, and Gundogan's run straight past him. It's like he was crossing the zebra crossing. Honestly, where's your green cross code? Your green cross code is look left and right, or whatever it is. The players need to learn the green cross code, because he's just ran straight through the middle of that defense. And for me, Tanguy hasn't tracked him. If you look back at it and you freeze the frames, Tanguy should have tracked Gundogan. And Gundogan Tottenham, do you know what I mean? He's just
gone in 60 seconds.
Gundogan. He even went off in 65th minute or whatever it was, gone in 65 minutes. He done his job and he was gone. It was Gundogan Tottenham. But I mean, look, Tanguy should have tracked him. And I don't know if Jose looked at that with one eye thinking, is he tired from, you know, the run around in the first half? He was dictating it for us at the back. He had some great bits of skill like he always does. But taking him off, I'm not sure that was the right move, because I felt like he was. Yeah, did you feel that the start of the counter?
Oh, definitely. Well, no, he's the one that can make things happen. That's the thing, right? I mean, personally, I thought Son. I could see he looked jaded. I could see that he looked really tired, and I just don't think he was up for this game. I could see that in the first half, very early on.
Yeah,
and I think one of those. I know that he can come on and score a goal at any time, at any point. Yeah, but I just thought that like you could see that he was so sluggish today, and Kane was a little bit sluggish, but Son was particularly jaded today.
Son was doing a lot for Ben Davies at the back. You know, he was tracking back, he was covering Ben Davies. I think Mourinho's had a word with him, saying, I need cover at the back, because it was Brighton, Chelsea, Liverpool, you know, even Everton have all taken Davies to the cleaners and back. You know, I'm starting to feel sorry for the guy, because he's I mean, look, he had an all right game attacking wise against Everton, but look, he's just not quick enough. Sterling done him a couple of times as well when they swapped sides. You know,
which makes you wonder why the hell did Jose drop Reguilon against and put Davies on for the Liverpool game away at Anfield?
It's a good point. I mean, when we went away to Anfield, we played quite well, didn't we?
But why did he drop Reguilon and Ndombele and then play Davies at left back?
Do you know what I think with Jose? He's almost trying to get under the skin of these players to get, you know, obviously competition in the cab. Trying to sort of say, you know, you're not going to start. You know, he's doing that with the defense. I was so glad to see Tanganga in the game. In my pre-match video, I put him out there to start because he's pace, he's powerful. He's only started 7 Premier League games. He's only got 2 clean sheets in his career. Make that 8 and still 2. But he brought today something that was refreshing. That was one of the positives to come out of this game, was Tanganga's performance. You know, the 1-2s, the pace down the flanks, and with Serge Aurier back, whether it's Tanganga, Serge Aurier, Reguilon. You know, we need competition on those flanks, because we need width. You know, we can't go down the middle each time because a lot of our goals have come down the middle. You know, so whether it's Tanguy to Kane to Son, you know, we need to have a plan B, and we need to bring that width. So today to see Tanganga was awesome. Sonny was trying to help Davis. I felt like the wrong ball kept going up in the first half, and you wish Sonny had it, but it ended up with Moura. Moura wasn't great. He seemed like a headless chicken out there. They didn't quite know what was going on. Lamela got sucked into the game. They got under his skin. Maybe it was that South American rivalry thing going on with I think it was Rodri and you know there was that was the Lamela I don't like to see, the one that gets wound up, the one that's that's getting into spats and nearly got himself sent off. That could have been a red card, you know, left or right, and he's taking his ankle out. So for me, you know, it was a game which we lacked composure. We were naive. We were, you know, lacking concentration and focus, and it was full of silly mistakes. But that has been the story of the last few games, unfortunately. You know, it seems to be the same trend against the bigger teams. If it's Chelsea, Liverpool, or City, it seems to be the trend.
It just seems like we fold against the big teams at the moment. That's the issue, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at our record at the beginning of the season, we were up there, best defensive. You know, no one could score against us. Chelsea, City. We went to United and smashed in 6. Southampton, okay, they were up there in the beginning of the season and were an informed team when we smashed 5 past them. So, you know, the wheels have somewhat come off, and without squad rotation, without squad depth, you're relying on the same players who will eventually burn out. I think there's a combination of obviously a bit of luck with losing Kane and, you know, losing Reguilon and losing Lo Celso, who would have been first team starters. Let's be honest, you would have put probably Lo Celso there instead of Lamela in that false 9. So we've lost first teamers, which is always unlucky, rather than losing passengers. And if you combine that with the fact that maybe the players are not enjoying this style of football, I mean, it's great to do that in the big games, but I feel like Jose needs to sort of almost, he gives too much respect to teams. So when Chelsea came to town, we sort of gave them too much respect. And I feel like the players they sense a winner, but boy, does he do it the hard way. Boy, does he grind them, and he's strict and he's disciplined. And don't get me wrong, all those things are important in becoming champions or winning something. You've got to be disciplined, and we've got to the Carabao Cup final, so you can't say much. But I wonder if the players just want to express themselves a bit more and elaborate. And don't get me wrong, that will also allow you to be open at the back. But the balance is too top heavy. We've got some of the best attackers in the league. But we're just top heavy, aren't we? We're just, you know, we're
Ferrari's
Pamela
up
Anderson
top,
FC at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, I say Pamela Anderson without her implants, because we're pretty flat, you know, today. But it is what it is, mate.
And Katie Hopkins at the back, basically.
Yeah. We need to grow. We need to develop. We're in that puberty stage, and Mourinho's maybe in his puberty stage with Spurs. You know, when he gets the transfer funds and he can imprint, you know, the kind of players. I mean, look at Diaz. They went in 1 week, signed him. See you later. Thank you very much. Back to Manchester. We were flirting with him. We're flirting with Skriniar. And this is a difference, you know, 800 million that's been spent by Pep versus, you know, the couple of hundred we've spent. You know, you look at the net figures of transfer spend. You know, that was a clear example of the gulfing difference in quality of players between City and Spurs because of the money they spend. But it's not always about money. It's about management. It's about coaching. Look at Brendan Rodgers. He's doing a great job. And I wonder whether the coach in Jose, the man manager, the man who can put his hand around you. I know he brought the best out of Tanguy, but, you know, maybe he needs to sort of bring these players and get them to buy into his philosophy, because I'm not sure the players are enjoying this. I don't think they are enjoying it. We're not as fans enjoying it. Yeah. And look, in any walk of life, when you enjoy yourself, you give it that extra bit more.
I totally agree. And I actually think that they're not feeling like they can really, like you say, express themselves. And I think the handbrake's up to a certain degree, and I feel like they want to express themselves, but they're being probably drilled to be too disciplined and thinking this isn't quite in our DNA, this isn't quite what we're about. So there's a little bit of a kind of a conflict of interest there between them wanting to really go on the front foot and express themselves and be artists on the pitch versus them being told what to do and be in a disciplined area and hold a low block and then, you know, spring on teams in a certain way and go through the middle. It's a tough one, isn't it?
It is a tough one, and you know, like when I look at players like Tanguy, right, he wants to express himself. And look at Lo Celso, he wants to express himself. Ball possession players, look how much fun these City players are having. You know, they're enjoying themselves, and don't get me wrong, the quality is different. You know, the management style and philosophy is different. Today was, and I said it on my pre-match, it was clash of two philosophies. And when you use the word philosophy, this was it. You had the counter, the narrow sort of, compact, flanks covered, condense the pitch, close, make the pitch smaller and control the space, versus ball control and passing. And you look at their passing accuracy versus ours, and we're almost trying to sort of do daylight robbery every time. And I just feel like Jose has to come up with some sort of plan B. But look, it is City, guys. We were up against the very best, and there's no massive shame in losing to them. And it's sad. The gap is huge. Reflection is that we're a long way off anywhere near title race. Let's just forget that for a second, right? And secondly, we have a philosophy which either we get used to it and fully sort of embrace it and fully engage with it, or we get rid of Jose, because I'm not sure Jose has a second philosophy, and that's the problem. Is where is his plan B? And that's the question mark I have on Jose, is how dynamic are you, or is this it, and is this always going to be it? And have teams now found us out? Stop Kane, stop Son, and you stop Tottenham.
Yeah, and that's the worrying thing, because I'm not too sure what the plan B is at the moment. I mean, I think we saw a little bit of a plan B against Everton. Without when we had like the like Mora, Bergwijn, Lamela, Son really closing the ball down fast. I thought that looked really good for us, but of course the mistakes at the back kind of like made that look as though it was a mistake. But it's a difficult one, isn't it? It's a difficult one because
I mean, look, we've lost 3-0. I think most Spurs fans would have enjoyed losing 3-0, having a go, than this very safe insurance way of playing. But look, when we beat City at the Lane, everyone was saying Jose, express football, 1, 2, 3, back of the net, fewest touches in the game, less possession, We had 2 shots on target and we scored 2. Right? Today, I think we had 3 shots on target, we scored none. So at the Lane, we're saying it's great. We beat City, we played with efficiency into our strengths, and Heung-min Son being quick and Kane being, what he is. We're using the game, we're using the players to their strengths. However, as you evolve, you must change and you must adapt. And I want to see Jose change, because I tell you what, you could say goodbye to that Carabao Cup right now, and that year ends in 1. It's going to end in 0, guys. It's going to end in 0 trophies the way we're going. Because if we don't start switching it up, City are going to do that to us again. And if you knock on the door hard enough, John, any door in life, it will open, right? The law of averages always works for you. Whether you go casino 100 times, you lose 80 times. It's the law of averages. So we need to find a plan B, because sitting back and just hitting them on the counter is not going to work as well as it did at the beginning of the season, because teams have sussed us out and they're nullifying us and we're looking a bit toothless. But, let's see. It was Man City. Listen, we've got West Ham. We've got the Europa League now, right? Maybe the players will look at this period as we're done with City, we're done with Chelsea, we're done with Liverpool. We've only got United, Everton and Leicester to play. Right, we've got 15 games. We need about 30 more points to make top 4, because it's about 65 to 75 points. So 66 might land us top 4. We need 10 wins from 15 games. You could lose 5 and win 10, and we give ourselves a chance. So it's not all doom and gloom. But I tell you what, West Ham and Moisey will be licking his lips tonight, going, I can't wait to play Spurs. Yeah. Oh,
that's good.
Antonio's going to have a day at the sweet shop. Souček's going to have a bit of fun. But look, the only way sometimes to defend is to attack when you run out of ideas and options. And maybe the Everton first half was a blessing and silver lining, I'd say. And that's kind of how I explained it on my channel. The silver lining was that first half. Today's first half, there was some positives. Obviously, Tanganga's definitely deserves to be in and around it. Players need a rest. They're burnt out. Jose is going to earn his money in the next few weeks. That 15 million quid he gets, we're going to see how much of that is well spent, or is it a waste? We'll see now.
Definitely. Yeah, let's see what happens. Josh, fantastic, mate. One of the best calls we've ever had, I think.
Nice
great insights. A full dimensional understanding of what went on and Spurs at the moment. So I really appreciate it, dude. You've got your own channel, have you? Should we give that a plug?
Oh, look, if you can, thank you very much. Appreciate the airtime. I haven't got many subscribers at the moment, but I've only just started a few weeks ago. I've been a Spurs fan all my life. Love the club. I've done Spurs fan cams for previous channels. This is going back 4 or 5 years. I've got back into it. So you can find me on Spurs Debates. That's one word, Spurs Debates, on YouTube. I put on videos on a regular basis. I bring something different. I try and bring a lot of insight, try and bring a lot of reasoning, try and bring a lot of history, and give you something different, because the channel to be on is We Are Tottenham. That's that's where you get the one-stop shop. But I try and give you a little bit of a little bit to sort of a little bit more meat to chew on. So come and check me out on Spurs Debate, and I'd love to see you there, and love to be back on this one as well, John. Thanks for having us.
All right, let's have you back at some point. All right, mate. Take care, mate.
Wonderful.
We'll have you on
Take
soon.
care.
Cheers, dude. Cheers, mate.
Come
Bye.
on, Spurs.